Alright, we have another fun one today. This is 4-color Winota. I wanted to bring the Winota deck into Timeless and kind of showcase something for you guys. And what I've done is kind of taken a look at what the current meta is for Winota decks and kind of built a small derivative of those kind of decks. So what a lot of these things did back in the historic days is they played the big important cards like Blade Historian, one of the hits that we want to make so that we can kill our opponent quickly. Giving our creatures double strike, and they played Legion Warboss in order to get a bunch of creatures out on the battlefield to go ahead and kill, or to get enough triggers on Winota in time. You know, carving this 3-drop into a 4-drop is pretty solid, and that gives you 2 looks at the top of your deck. Always pretty solid. Occasionally, we did see Fable of the Mirror Breaker come in, but that is something that I don't think I personally saw very much until these sort of larger decks came out in Timeless. And that's more or less what the original core of the deck was. Now we get to take a look at what we're doing now, which is adding some non-human creatures here in the 1-drop slot that also make mana for us so that we can ramp quicker. This is something that we were able to do in Historic, but generally we were running mostly red-white since we didn't have the mana fixing that we do now. So, yeah, this is something that is at least new to me. Maybe if you're kind of more enfranchised in this space, you kind of know what's going on, and you were on this earlier than I was, but we are here nonetheless. So, kind of taking a look at this deck, we have Mana Acceleration in Goose, Shaman, and Fable. We have Creature Acceleration in just the fact that these are creatures, Legion Warboss pooping out tokens, and we just need to basically use those to get Winota out. And then finally, the haymakers that we want to have here are Brutal Cathar, in order to remove early played creatures and just problematic things in order for us to get our attacks in. We want Tovalor's Huntmaster in here because it just makes your deck, makes your board presence extremely wide, and it allows you to hit for that second lethal attack if the first one doesn't fully kill. And then finally, Agent of Treachery. Honestly, I kind of just wanted a excuse to play this card. This is one that I have not been able to play in Timeless just yet, so this is the deck that I get to break in with it for. Banned out of Historic, and finally legal here in Timeless, so we get to play it again. Definitely kind of brutal. We take our opponent's lands if there's nothing else better to do. Otherwise, we remove a blocker, much like with Brutal Cathar, and our big indestructible double strikers can get in. Should be a pretty good one here. We have a lot of colors to cover. We need to make sure that we have the opportunity to hit double blue in case the game goes long and we just need to ramp to an agent. We need to make sure that we have all of our red whites, which is our core colors, but we also need to have green relatively early. So we have some green producing triomes, green producing dual lands, and then some red white here to fill in. We're basically relying on our fetch lands here to find the colors that we need. And based on the hands that we initially take, we will decide what those colors need to be. So, very flexible. This will show off the utility in the Timeless mana bases, and hopefully we'll get some good games in today. So before we hop into the games, make sure to like and comment on the video. Those help with the YouTube algorithm a lot, and subscribe if you're new for videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. That's all for me, and I'll see you in round 1. Okay, here we go, round 1. Let's get in there. Opening hand has a Winota and a Deathrite Shaman, so that meets all the requirements that I need to play this hand. We'll start a little slower here. I generally like to do that when I don't have a backup non-human creature to trigger Winota with. Opponent's got Ragavan. This does make me scared. This is a deck that probably plays a lot of removal, so this Deathrite Shaman might bite the dust before long. Well, they know that we have one, so we may as well play one, and maybe even just a second one, just for good measure. If any of us finds a fetch land, that means that we play Winota next turn and get in for one Deathrite Shaman hit. We're going to let Ragavan hit us here. It's going to be Lightning Helix, which I was afraid of. I'm definitely not blocking here. If they just rip a bolt, well, not a bolt off the top of my library, but if they just rip a card and then play bolt, oh man, boy does that suck. Okay, well, we've played kind of unluckily here. Gonna need to find a 3-drop. The 3-drop would be great. Those produce a lot of tiny creatures for us, and it's gonna be Thoughtseize taking our Winota here. Pretty obvious choice if you're my opponent, and they do. We are basically 4 to 6 lands here from playing a Tovalor's Huntmaster. So things get a little tough from here on out. They got a Deathrite Shaman to play off the top of my library. Yeah, hate to see it. We're going to lose our Winotas, not that we had any plans to play out of the graveyard. And unfortunately, now we just hit our 7 drops. Not much we can do from here. Opponent is going to probably murder us. We'd like to hit a land drop, but we also would just like to hit a creature. There goes one of our lands. It's unfortunate. Here's Legion Warboss. That is a blocker. And then we do have one attacker that doesn't get chump blocked. So this means that if we top deck a Winota, there is a chance that we win the game. That is assuming if our opponent just doesn't kill us. Looks like we might be dead. That is lethal on board. We are going to have to block with Warboss. The question is, how low can we go? Right now we can get down to 1. Oh, well, that makes things worse because now this has to be a trade. Okay. And unfortunately, we may not survive because this bump in the night can be recast at some point. Let's see what their last card is. It is another Ragavan. Yeah, Ketria Triumph isn't it, unfortunately. Let's cycle to see what we would have drawn. And we'd be a little bit more mad if this was a Winota, but seeing just another castable creature is unfortunate. Although not really castable because of the 1 blue mana. We'll go to our opponent's turn here, let them attack in, and that will be the end of round 1. Kind of a brutal start, but you gotta have those in order to, you know, make the story of this deck tech happen. Anyway, that's round 1 out of the way. Let's stay strong and move into round 2. Here we go. Alright, we're met with an opening hand that does not have Winota, but does have some creatures that we want to have when Winota comes down. If we were to draw her, it feels good, but there are a lot of games where you just do not draw Winota, you don't draw your card draw, or you find your card draw and it doesn't find Winota, and for that reason this hand is tough to keep. This one's a little better because these creatures actually do stuff on their own. I'd probably get rid of the Brutal Cathar here, and then we just use Fable to redraw. I'll keep the 6, get rid of the Brutal Cathar like I said, and play a Ketria Triumph tapped. We want to try to make sure that if we don't draw what we need, we keep things in hand to discard the Fable. And we probably want to think about what it is that we want to discard the Fable. So this blue mana source, which you saw kind of trouble me in the last game, is a very good candidate for that. I think of playing against a life gain deck, they will attack at some point, but it would be nice for us to kind of get ahead here. Gilded Goose can start eating some of our mana up, so that's good. I think we just send like this. And if we can just rip a Winota at some point, this hand is absolutely rocking. You got a Font of Hope, you got it. Here's Windswept Heath, we'll use that to thin the deck. And let's go like this. Sack, we will find a Triumph and then exile from our graveyard in order to make the mana here. Here's Deathrite Shaman, exile our Windswept Heath. Make any mana, doesn't matter. And here is a Fable. Cool, so we have probably the 2 cards that we'll discard here for Fable. Opponent hopefully doesn't have a good 3-drop play, but knowing these kind of decks, I think they typically have strong ones. They just pass back, which is perfect for me. I do need to produce a 4th mana if I draw Winota, but I would like to play Jetmir's Garden. I think we'll just play on the safe side and keep a untapped mana. And darn, it's not what we wanted. However, we are at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mana. It means next turn we get an Agent of Treachery just straight up. That can take Giada or whatever annoying angel they decide to play next. If they don't play anything now, it's absolutely going to be a Agent of Treachery on a land, but I think it's just because this gate came in tapped. We can take them off of red. That is an important thing to note with the Agent of Treachery. Wow, they're actually just passing back. That's really good for me. I have lands in graveyard here. We'll go ahead and have Goose make a token. Make sure that we can keep that life total high. Move to my turn. And it's just another Gilded Goose. So sad. I think though that it's high time to add Deathrite Shaman mana to the pool. And maybe just take their red mana, honestly. It's Fateful Absence on Reflection of Kiki Jiki. Fine. Make a blue. And that is exactly the right colors for Agent of Treachery. Here we go. Pick one of our foods. And let's take that Windscarred Crag. Alright, cool. We can offer a trade here. That does kind of take them off mana. It's debatably a good trade for them. They stop me from getting a good Winota, but at the same time they do lose some scaling on their creatures and just general damage. I think that another creature on the battlefield is better than a token. I think that anyone that plays this sort of deck and wants to have a Winota go off would agree with me. And so now, we are in the situation where our board is built, but we don't have that Winota. The question is, when will we find her? Well, the opponent's starting to build their board here, and things eventually will get scary for us. In the meantime, here's a Tovolar's Huntmaster. Get some wolves, and we can always draw a card with a clue. I probably don't want to do that, sacrificing all my Gilded Goose mana just yet. We can Deathrite Shaman take their Fateful Absence. I don't really see a reason to attack in right now. We'll pass in turn. Hopefully not having red mana is a huge problem for them. Not sure that I can tell you what card they're playing it for. Probably like some Achroma kind of deal. They want to make the life gain happen. That's totally fine for them. They should be attacking with the Skiata, but who knows what they're doing. Let's take their Fateful Absence here. Oh, actually, I guess I don't want to sack food here. Let's make sure that we draw instead. That is better than dealing a little damage. Alright, we'll get our card here. Let's find a Winota. That's not a Winota. We do get to Brutal Cathar here, meaning that maybe Giada is a good thing. Yeah, so I guess we just Brutal Cathar, take Youthful Valkyrie. Right. We would need to not be on night for that to happen. Awkward. Let's have Tovolar's Pack Leader have our Brutal Cathar fight Giada, because we don't like her on the battlefield. Perfect. Now we actually don't have anything to do. This is a good attack for me, and I suppose I could just push a little damage here. That's a free attack. This is free mana. I don't know if that's how I want to go about it. I think while we have damage, let's just do this. We get some more 2/2s, and just this attack coming in is great for us. I don't really know what they're doing here. I think the better block is on this Goblin Shaman. Either way, they're at 7, and I think, unless they're randomly playing a Wrath here, we win this one. Definitely a weird round 2, but I will take a win where we can find it. I would also really just take a Winota draw here if possible. I guess Giada just comes back, sure. They go to 10. They have some blockers. I'm not sure how they expect to block my next attack. If it's Winota, cool. If not, it is what it is. It's a Sacred Foundry. Alright, fine. We're just attacking in. The opponent knows they're dead. Kind of a non-game here. Not super happy with that one, but hopefully round 3 will yield us something more of a structured game plan. Here comes round 3. Alright, here's round 3. I think after review on the last game, I really don't feel too bad about having kind of a weird one like that. It's important to kind of show these decks when they don't fall into the groove of what they want to do, and that was a pretty solid one. I think now that we've shown that, I will change my mind about how I initially think about this hand. I mean, it does make mana, but really what are we doing with that? And I think that's how we need to evaluate these hands. That's going to be a mulligan for me. Here, this is a different story because we have a lot of cool things here. I think Blade Historian's the worst thing right now just because it costs the most. Brutal Cathar might need to take something out before Winota, but otherwise we just want to curve Legion Warboss right into a Winota, so let's try to do that. We will go with our fetch lands first to find some triomes. There's a Jetmir. I might fetch one blue producing source. More red, that's perfect. Here's another Bloodstained Mire. So we are set up for turn 4 Winota. So we want to produce a Ketria Triumph blue mana. Cool. 1, 2, 3, 4 is going to be the way that we order this hand. Blighted Halfling, they want to practically go into something nasty. Here is a Legion War Boss. Unfortunately, my 1/1 Goblin will be eaten here in combat. So sad. Goodbye. Hopefully, that's not removal for my Legion War Boss coming down, because we will finally, for the first time in this league, get a Winota down. Mishra. Alright. So what does Mishra do? Because I need to read him again. Whenever they attack, we lose some life, where they've attacked us a bunch of times. Okay, fine. We'll worry if they find that Dragon Engine. Anyway, here's Stomping Ground. We have our colors. This is going to be Winota. We'll have everything attacking here and hope that we hit well with our 2 things. One trigger finds Tovolar's Huntmaster. Let's look at how this combat's going to work. Double Strike is not really going to help these things kill, so we probably just want these bodies here. And we'll take another Winota, I suppose. We already have one, so let's keep the one that is attacking. And yeah, now we have a pretty decent attack coming in. Legion Warboss is probably the one that bites the dust here. That makes sense. Luckily for us, Tovolar's Huntmaster makes wolves, which themselves are good for Winota. The one thing that sucks here would be a Winota removal spell, which does happen, and is going to actually happen. Kind of unfortunate that we have Legend ruled our other Winota, but it is what it is. We can go Wooded Foothills here, that'll give us 5 mana, and this Blade Historian is going to start to absolutely shred their life total. We'll fetch here, find another Triumph since we don't have anything to play this turn. And this is attacking all in for quite a lot of damage. Mishra does eat my creatures. Okay, chump block, and yep, eat that. Makes sense. And with Double Strike, that will be a kill no matter what. Alright, well, that's the first Winota trigger that we got onto the stack, and it resulted in a quick win. That's pretty much how this deck operates. We are essentially combo, even though we're playing just really a creature pile. That is a bucket list kill for this deck tech in the bag, but we'd really like to hit some more, so let's hop into round 4 and try for another. Here we go. Alright, here we go, round 4. Well, got a lot of starter going on here. I just need that Winota. Opponent's mulligan, so I think I will as well. Double Blade Historian is definitely worse. I think I'd be happy taking another mulligan here, although I'm definitely just regretting not taking that first hand to begin with. It is what it is. Let's see if opponent goes to 5. That would be great for me, and they actually do. Alright, that makes this not terrible for me. I think I just keep this one. We gotta discard Brutal Cathar and probably... maybe just a land? Maybe we get rid of Blade Historian. I'm not sure that's super great until we pull it out with Winota. Yeah, I think it's probably Blade Historian goes back. We'll keep 5, put Blade Historian and 1 land back. We pass. There's our Winota off the top. So we are pretty much just on track. We just need to draw that 1 land. That's the only important thing that needs to happen. We will already produce red-white, so let's make sure that we can make a blue. Sterling Grove, this is Enchantress. We need to watch out for an Enchantress lock, but we are going to get Legion Warboss on turn 3 and Winota on turn 4. Case of the Shattered Pact is new to me. Search for some lands, and then what happens after. 5 permanents, okay, and then that just makes whatever creatures that they have go nuts. Alright, is what it is. Legion Warboss is going to do its thing, and I don't think we die on their turn 4, so Winota is going to be great. Not Swords to Plowshares, that's just Sterling Grove activation. Totally fine. They can activate... They can hide behind a 9 lives. Like, that is a possibility that we just lose to it. Leyline of the Guild Pact, that solves Case of the Shattered Pact. They hopefully won't be able to make a creature anytime soon. We'll be able to Winota here, and with any luck, we should be able to win. Let's attack in with everything. Trigger, trigger, trigger. Mentor goes on, and what do we find here? So Blade Historian we do want for damage, but I think Tovolar's Huntmaster is just going to generally be better. We find another Winota, here's another Tovolar's Huntmaster, and the final one does hit that Blade Historian, so we absolutely murder for lethal. Alright, opponent's dead in first strike damage, and that is round 4 in the bag. Absolute smashing with Winota, and we can definitely say, I think conclusively, that she has staying power in Timeless. Just got to put the right things around her. So far things are looking great. We have round 5 coming up. I think overall we've had a pretty 50-50 experience, but let's see if we can tip that scale in the W direction. Here comes round 5. Alright, 5th and final round, let's go. Winota is in hand. Fable of the Mirrorbreaker is going to have to be our non-creature tokens. And yeah, alright. 2 kind of uncastables here, but maybe it won't matter. Those 2 are going to be great discards to Fable of the Mirrorbreaker, at the very least. Utopia Sprawl, okay. Enchantments. They are making black with this, which is interesting. We'll just show some more Stomping Grounds. Don't necessarily need to show the white mana yet. Ooh. Okay. Problematic. We get to go like this. We get to go Deathrite Shaman. And we still get to go Winota next turn. Alright, things aren't over. Bloodbraid Elf with Cascade. Are they going to land destruct me? Yes, they are. Okay. We're not blocking that. And, oh, okay. So that's actually not what they plan to do. Alright, we're getting in here. We go Deathrite Shaman. Oh, Deathrite Shaman can't attack and make mana here, so it's just going to be Fable. Make a blocker. Feel sad about it and pass. No attacks. Well, I guess we will attack. Deathrite could die here. I'd feel sad, but at least we have the Goblin token. We really just want them to attack in, and we just take some damage here. That sets us up the best to kill with Winota. Beseiju comes down. We will go ahead and find something with basic land type. We want to find white mana, which we do play. There's our white mana, perfect. We lose our Fable. We'll take some damage here. It is fine. And maybe, just maybe, we get our Winota kill here. Let's see what happens. That's Winota. Winota comes in. We get 2 attacks, and let's see what we hit. An opponent actually doesn't even care. We've made it out of their Blood Moon lock, and they say goodbye. Well, I think this is going to leave us with a pretty short video if I cut it here, so we'll go for one final game here, win or lose. Hoping for another nice one. Typically, a lot of the decks that I play do not survive the Blood Moon lock. I think we just got really lucky that they wanted to kill the Fable of the Mirrorbreaker, since that represented cloning of my token and making a lot of mana. However, it's actually just exactly that ended up finding me the land that I needed to cast my Winota, so pretty solid. Let's go for one more round here. It's going to overall be a pretty quick deck tech today. Hope you guys have been enjoying these just in general. But let's take a look at this new hand. Not a lot of ways to find Winota, and I'm sad about that. I kind of want to mulligan this one. If I was going second and my opponent mulliganed, I probably would as well. Let's YOLO keep this one and see if just making a bunch of mana ends up being strong. We will go ahead and just early find this land. We do have Agent of Treachery, so I will go ahead and fetch the Ketria Triumphs first, which is not how I usually do this. Fable of the Mirror Breaker is our way of making lands now. Great. Let's pay 2 life here. Go for both of these cards. Deathrite Shaman. If we don't get a land here, we'll find Fable. Or we'll play our Fable, I guess. Or I could Gilded Goose. We'll see what ends up surviving / being the least awkward to play. Okay, so this is lands, fine. So we have a few turns to work with. This means that Legion Warboss will be good. It'll be a good setup. We do need to create a bunch of creatures that can block their Primeval Titans. Windswept Heath will go down. We don't have to worry about Blood Moon again. And I guess I just go for mana now. I don't think I really need to find a lot of different colors of mana. I think I do actually want to start setting up Ketria Triumphs because we can yoink with an Agent of Treachery one of the Field of the Deads if they only find one, and that will possibly give us one more turn to survive. I think we need to Fable the Mirror Breaker now. I'm going to keep Deathrite Shaman just chilling here for a bit. Here comes Fable the Mirror Breaker. We do need those draws for next turn. Opponent goes to 19. So here is still going to be another setup turn. Kalni Garden probably goes into turn 4 something natural order. Luckily for us, I think that doesn't mean that their Primeval Titan will be able to attack, which is good. Oh, here's Spelunking. So this is a Spelunking deck, which means that Kalni Garden will just... Yeah, actually, so they're going to be set up here to hand war battlements here. Yeah, okay, so this is going to be the worst situation here that we have to deal with. Tubular's Huntmaster isn't the one. We'll get rid of 1, 2. I think we want to hold Agent of Treachery. Oh, I thought that was a Winota. That's unfortunate. Bloodstained Mire will come down. Again, I think we do need to just look for mana here. 3 mana on Warboss. Blade Historian's also nice, but not really the perfect one right now. I think I got to go Legion Warboss. Yep, Legion Warboss, so that means I find a tap land. Here's the Jetmir's Garden. Here's the Warboss. Move to combat. We do need to attack with this guy. We'll go 1, 2, and they can't kill me. So they make a bunch of crap with Field of the Dead, and that will eventually be problematic for me. We have 5 out of 7 mana. If we draw a land, that is a castable Agent of Treachery. They need to find 2 unique lands here, but they will be able to Oh, they actually... I didn't realize that they chump blocked. That means that they don't have natural order into what they want right now. We might have more time here. Against Beseiju, we will decide to take an action here. Let's find another Jetmir's Garden. Cool. Oh, I think we're kind of okay now. Agent of Treachery takes Field of the Dead if they get close. I could also maybe take Handwear Battlements. I gotta think about that. We can also take them pretty far off green. If they don't put a green mana source in here. Oh, they didn't. Oh, this is good. This is very, very good. This is Agent of Treachery taking Highland Forest. So now you don't have red or green mana. Move to combat. 1, 2, 3. Get some triggers. Make that guy big. Okay. I like what I'm doing. They go to 14. Blade Historian next turn makes that a near lethal situation. They have natural order here, it looks like. There it is. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They will get their first Field of the Dead triggers, but it'll only be 2 land, or it'll only be 2 Field of the Deads. Blade Historian will mean that we have 2, so 4. It basically means that we have lethal. If they don't block with Primeval Titan and then also block with Field of the Deads. Actually, it may be close. Yeah, okay, they don't have 7 unique lands. Okay. That is a pretty big misplay for them. We don't care about our graveyard going away, and yeah, this is just going to be Blade Historian here. We will attack with the squad, except for Gilded Goose, and put them to a pretty low life total. And yeah, that's over 16 damage, so unless they have a way to gain life, that's lethal. Alright, well, honestly, it's kind of, I cannot really figure it out in my mind just yet if we would have won that game had they played optimally. With this, I think, is kind of boiling down to a pilot that's learning the deck, or someone who just is maybe transitioning from a different style of this Primeval Titan deck. From what I've played, and this may not even represent the correct theory currently, but to me, I think the biggest move here would be they need to Natural Order for Primeval Titan, find red mana and the ability to get their first Field of the Dead trigger on. And because they have Spelunking out, Hand War Battlements, well, okay, they can find whatever land that they need to have come in untapped, but then they use Hand War Battlements to get Primeval Titan moving in, and then they just go ham with Field of the Deads. And that, if played correctly, I think goes wide enough to really survive my attack here. It possibly just buys them a turn, given that I have Double Strike. So, honestly, it's kind of hazy how that would have played out. But, you know, the result, regardless, is a W here, and that's pretty solid for us. No Winota this game, but honestly, if you look at the end state of this one, we have a pretty demanding board presence. So, nice for us. Anyway, that brings us to the 5th and final round here. Hope you guys have enjoyed this video. It's definitely on the shorter end, but, you know, I'll have some more control stuff coming out here in the near future, you'll see. And so stick around, and that will be coming to your feed Monday, Wednesday, or Friday very soon. Make sure to support me by liking the video and commenting. Those help with YouTube algorithm a lot. And subscribe if you're new for videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. My voice is almost given out here. I've recorded a couple videos today, and so I need to give that thing a rest. I think I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.